Good day and welcome back to Sheldon's Gardening Tips, your complete DIY guide for everything lawn and garden care. Now in today's video, what I'll be doing, I'll be raising the level of the lawn. So I'll try to level out this section of my lawn because whenever it rains, water would settle in some lower spots. So the lawn slopes nicely all the way from the top. However, when it reaches this section, there are a number of ruts, and whenever it rains, the water settles in those ruts, and it doesn't run off as nicely as I would like. Also, when I'm mowing the lawn, it doesn't mow this section as smoothly as I would also like. So, as you notice, I've placed some card lines along the length. So this is to give me the slope that I would need to follow to get the lawn to drain properly, to run off properly. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using my half-moon shovel. I'll be digging along the length of the card line. It's 1 foot apart, and I will take out the cuttings, then use topsoil and sand to put below, or to put on the surface, and then I would put the grass cuttings back in place to ensure they follow this exact slope of the card line. Now this process will be continued all the way over to my left until the entire lawn is at an even slope where the water can easily drain off. So I've measured areas as deep as 3 inches in height. There are some 2 inches, and then there are others which are pretty much where they should be. So at the end of this process, I should have a smooth surface here, and the water should be able to run off quite nicely. So to start the process, I think I'm better served starting from this end. Alright, so now after cutting each slot, I'll use the garden fork to take them from the ground. Now we want to place this exactly how we take it out. Okay, so we might need to cut them in smaller pieces. So to prevent them from breaking into pieces, it's best to just cut them into smaller slots. We'll just cut them horizontally all the way down, and then we'll take out with the fork. So that row I've completely dug up the grass. Now it's time to put some sand and dirt inside the space and then set the level as I put the grass pieces back together. Now let me just throw some topsoil in this section to get it started. Now over time the topsoil will also shrink, will sink to some extent, so it's best to give it a little compaction now at the start, and then to fit this a bit, proud of the card line, just to ensure that over time, whenever the soil is set, it will go down to the correct level. Alright, so let me set the first piece of sod back in place. So that's the first row now done. So you can see the level is right up against the card line. So now this gives me a good slope that will cause the water to run off whenever it rains. So basically all I'll be doing now, I'll be continuing the same process all the way across until I have a proper slope for this entire section of the lawn. So I will continue the process off camera, so whenever the job is complete, I will return to show you the finished product. So this is what the finished product looks like. Now this job took me a few hours, and the job is actually more than I had anticipated. So the issue I had, as I said at the start, was that this section of the lawn is a sink in this section, so whenever it rains, there's a pool of water that settles in this area. And what I have done, I have dug up that section of the lawn and I've used topsoil and sand to put it below the surface, and then I put the pieces back. So when doing this job, it's very important that the pieces of grass, they are cut in small manageable sizes because it's quite heavy. So when they're in large chunks, it makes it difficult to move about, and they will from time to time break in pieces. So I had a challenge with some sections of the grass. Was just the pieces were just breaking apart. They were never staying together. So it made the job a bit more difficult, and it also affects the way the finished product looks. What I'll be doing now, I'll be going over with some topsoil and manure and just put it between all the joints. Now, another important thing when laying the grass is to ensure that it is done at least half an inch higher than where you expect it to sit, because over time the soil will settle, so the lawn will drop at least half of an inch. So that's what I have done. So I'll be giving this lawn maybe 2 weeks to settle, so it will drop to its final height, after which I'll be applying some sand just to give it a final level. So as you know, despite me doing this job, it's impossible basically for me to put the sod down on soil and then have the lawn perfectly level. So it will have bumpy spots, uneven areas all the way through. So once this lawn, this portion has settled out and has gone to its final height, then I'll be applying sand to do that final leveling. So that is it for this video. That is how you can raise low spots in your lawn. And as I said, it's quite a tedious process. It took me quite a few hours to get it done because it's quite a big area that had the problem. So now I'm very happy to have solved this problem, because it is an issue that I have had for quite a while, and I'm really happy to have gotten it out the way now. So over time you will see the progress made with this section of the lawn. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you again in future videos.